in a country where all the people is in the emperor's control. Every body worships him. He is the god of the land. But our MC is the only one to rival him. The MC kills all the knights of the emperor in front of the royal palace. The knight group, which was especially drafted by the emperor, named the Special Force. The only reason this special force exists is to protect the mighty emperor, Leon Cavalon. Our MC is none other than the commander of the Special Force, Yan. He is going to kill the emperor as the emperor has made all to the soldiers and his people as his puppet. Yan is setting all the knights free by killing them. In the palace, the emperor is sitting and talking with a fairy. In that time, Yan entered the palace and stands in front of the emperor. By seeing him, the emperor said that he didn't understand that the most loyal and obedient servant of his revolt against him, Yan, was completely beat up from fighting with all the members of the special force. He also lost one of his hands. The emperor asked him, how long has it been since he has become the commander, and said that he also remembers the day Yan got recruit in the special force. The Special Force Training Hall, which is known as Pit of Solitude. He joined as a slave, and with his own affords, he has become the commander of the Special Force. The emperor then questioned him that if he was unsatisfied with something, Yan breaks a piece of sword that was stuck in this abdomen and stabs it into his ears. He said that shoving a bug into someone's head, everything is bullshit. He has no memory of his past. He has lost everything. He even didn't know his parents and family. He even didn't know who he is. As Yan was bursting out his anger, the emperor grabs the fairy and bites the fairy's head and recites a spell. As he recites the spell, a sword comes and pierces the heart of Yan. The emperor then stand up and said he didn't know how Yan found the bug, but it's a shame he has to die, as he was the toy the emperor liked. Yan closed his eyes with a regret that his whole life was in vain. After that, Yan hears voice saying him to wake up. Yan wakes up and was shocked to find that he is still alive, even though a sword pierced his heart. He look around the place and finds it familiar. He touches the pillar behind him and found out that this is the great stone sword, which is the symbol of the Special Force Training Hall. An uncountable number of soldiers has died in front of his great stone sword. He then looks at his body and found that his body is smaller than usual, and the clothes he was wearing is the same that he used to wear when he was first recruited. As he was thinking, a white hair boy punches him, and he fly away and hit a wall. The white hair boy said that why is he distracted, and if he is looking down on him. By seeing him, Yan remembers that his name is Roman and he is the 12th recruit of the Special Force. Yan asked if they were in the middle of training. Roman replied that training is only an excuse. He is planning to beat Yan up, as no one cares if a low-level recruit dies. After this, Yan gets all his puzzled pieces and comes to a conclusion that he has returned to the past. He is happy that he has gotten a chance to execute his revenge. He will use this chance to behead the emperor. Yan then told Roman that he will not get a girlfriend even when he is 40. This makes Roman angry and he attacks Yan. Yan then further mocked him by saying that he get hit from this slow punches. This take Roman anger on a higher level. Roman then unleashed a technique called Dark Choas, 7th formation, punching rampage. Yan was dodging all of the punches as they both come close. Yan told Roman to take this as an advice and gives him a 1-inch punch. After getting hit from Yan's 1-inch punch, Roman fly away. As Yan was going to hit him more, he saw a pendant that breaks out from his neck and lands on the floor. By seeing this, Yan said to Roman that his luck is good and takes the pendant on his hand. He opens the lid of the pendant and saw an old photo of him with a man and woman standing beside him. Seeing this, Yan starts to cry, as this was his family that he has forgotten about. Love, family, and the memories that he has forgotten for more than 30 years are coming to him. What he could not obtain even after setting the imperial palace on fire and killing all the imperial knights is now on his hand. He also understands the mistake he was going to make, and decides that he is not going to waste this life on something as pathetic as revenge. He will get out of this place and will live the life with his family. The Special Task Force reports directly to the Emperor only. The Special Force has completed many impossible missions successful, such as the fall of the Verna Fortress, the assassination of the Grand Duke of the North. The Special Forces has completed many such missions in the history of the Empire, along with the one that stands at the top of the Special Forces, the commander of the Special Task Force, Yan. He is the right-hand man of the Emperor and the Empire's strongest knight. That body of his that hold all the power and strength now has turned into a shitty state. The commander of the Special Force is now an errand for a purification squad. There are 1,000 trainee soldiers in the Special Force in this place. Everyone becomes stronger by killing each other to survive. On a daily basis, an average of 3 to 4 people die in front of this great stone sword. Those empty spots are filled up either by kidnapping others or by those who are willing volunteered to join. The training ground is the Dragon Den located in the northwestern mountain range. The inside of this place is a labyrinth, like a dungeon. The trainee soldiers are each assigned a number. The numbers are assigned by the skills and strength of the trainee soldier, and they can climb up the ranks through test and competition. This is a pyramid-like system where the higher the number is, the better the treatments is received. Under such a system, it's hard for the lowest-ranked trainee soldier of the 90th batch of trainees to survive. Yan is assigned a number of 974, as his number is among the lowest, so he is assigned to do labor or to help others people training. As he was carrying the boxes, he gets hit by other people and fall on the ground. He told them if they don't have eyes. But in a pyramid-like system, there are those who stands at the top. The beautiful girl said sorry to him for bumping into him. These people are the high-ranked trainee soldier, the successor of the Empire's nobles. For the sake of the Empire's loyalty and to continue their family line, the nobles join the training center. They live a comfortable life at the training center because of their noble status. They are also not required to inject bugs in their head, and they are already prisoners through the privilege of the nobility. The high-rank trainees maintain their rank because of the service and treatments they get from it. Lorina Beowulf, Crewell Dwight, Kasha Everain. The 3 of them are always in the top 3. As Lorina was apologizing to Yan, Crewell stops her, said that why she is telling sorry to a trash like him. Crewell gives an angry look at Yan and said that even though they are training together, but they do not belong to the same status. He then mocks Yan for having the lowest number and calls him dumb and so many stuffs. Yan was so pissed off that he was thinking to split Crewell's head, but he bears this all as killing him will cause him problem. He then said sorry to them. But Crewell was not letting him go easily and said that only humans apologize. He told Yan to get on the ground and beg for forgiveness. As Yan stands still, Crewell starts to scold him. But in the meanwhile, Lorina assembles all the scattered boxes and convinces Crewell to let Yan go, as it is his first time meeting a noble. The 3 of them then let the place. Lorina said sorry to Yan again before leaving. Yan then takes all the boxes and starts his work. While he was going to the room that he was ordered of deliver the boxes, he noticed a strong bloodlust coming from the side road in front of him. He was thinking of Roman, but he then ignores it and starts to walk. While he come in front of the alley, he saw Lorina Beowulf was waiting for him there. The greatest criminal that the Imperial Knights also failed to catch, the Blue Iron Arm Galder. He committed his first murder at the age of 11 and formed a robber group at the age of 20. He attacked 23 villages and 17 guilds. His arms that even deflect the strongest of the strongest sword is the symbol of fear. But Lorina Beowulf, she alone take down the blue iron arm Galder and walk down the road with arm that was the symbol of fear. This show of her was enough for her get accepted in the special task force, the Beowulf Duchy, one of the top 4 noble families that rule over the northern Snow Mountain region. The knights of the family say that Lorina possessed the potential to become the strongest swordsman in the continent. She is also the strongest member of the Beowulf family, and she is also known as the Sword Saint. As Lorina and Jan stands in front of each other, she asked Jan what is his objective and why he is hiding his true power. Jan does not want to get more involved with Lorina, so he wants to end the conversation shortly. He replied to her that he has no idea about what she is saying. Lorina then mentions the incident that happens in the training hall. She said when she passing by the training hall, she saw Jan and Roman fighting. At first she thought that it is a fight between low-ranked trainee, but she was amazed to see Jan performing the 1-inch punch. She asked Jan that why he is just a low-ranked trainee with skill like that. Jan didn't reply and acts like he didn't know anything. Seeing Jan, Lorina said that she has got the wrong person. Lorina was going to leave the place by shaking her hand with Jan, but she decides to test Jan one last time. She used a 1-inch punch to see the reaction of Jan. Jan found out about this plan of her. He didn't move and takes the hit from her. After getting hit by her punch, he fall on the ground and starts to act like a pitiful commoner. By seeing this, Lorina was very shocked as she thought Jan would dodge her attack easily. As Lorina has a kind heart, she feels guilty for punch a poor boy, so she helps Jan to carry the boxes. She carried the boxes with Jan to the storeroom. Jan then expressed his gratitude to her. As she was taking her leave, she asked Jan if he saw her punch. She said that she saw Jan's eyes were following her hand, and she also hopes that her assumption is also wrong for this time too. She leaves the room by saying that she will meet with Jan again. As she leaves, Jan thinks of her as a potential threat. He wants to kill her. Jan can kill her easily, but this will be a great problem to him as the whole Beowulf family will become his enemy. So he ignores all these foul thoughts and starts to focus on his plan of escaping this place. He comes to a toilet and was searching for something. When he was the special force commander, he caught a person who was able of escape from this place. He tortured that person to know from where he was able to escape. The person said him that in the 3rd area of the 5th cubicle, in the abandoned toilet, if he breaks the toilet wall, there is a small exit found. Jan goes to the located place and also found the hole, but a digging is needed for him to fit in as the hole was quite small. He gets happy that at last he can escape the special task force and regain his freedom. Afterwards, we can see at the special task force the guard is roll calling everyone. But when he calls for 974, which is Jan's number, at first, he didn't respond, so the guard thought that he has escaped, so he goes to check him and see that he is there and is laying on his bed. By seeing him, the guard shouted at him and told him to answer quickly. The guard then leaves by saying them to blow off the candles and sleep. Later Jan was think that after all of the mission he has performed, he has understand one principle, that is, the more cautiously you moved, the higher the rate of success. Jan has only one chance to escape, and if he managed to escape, the pursuit team will chase after him. That will cause him a lot of troubles, and if he gets caught, he will be executed, and he will be an example for all the special task force members. So to avoid all these cases, he decides to train himself in a special technique, even though his current body cannot bear this technique. He sits on the ground in a lotus position and starts to practice the dark dragon's breathing, a mana circulation, technique that only the special task force commanders know, as Jan body cannot bear the effects of the technique. So to reduce the after effects, he creates an energy core which will act as a mana engine. But there is a catch, that the energy core cannot be created shortly, but there is only one other way, and it is to use the divine dragon breathing. As he starts to practice it, the surrounding mana gets into his body at a lightning speed, and his full body gets overloaded with mana as if a dragon has entered into his body. The divine dragon's breathing is a secret technique of the first emperor who founded this empire as he conquered numerous countries with a single sword. The technique was so powerful that the emperor who was bored and went out searching for it, personally. As Yan was practicing, he notices that all the mana from his body is no getting out. He tried his best to hold the mana into his body. This also causes him to deal with a great amount of pain. But unfortunately, he failed to learn the technique. And one of the main reasons is that he only knows the half of the secret technique. Back when he was the commander, the emperor taught him this secret technique, but he was only taught half of the technique, which is how to absorb the mana. He didn't learn how to compress it, that's why he failed to learn the technique. So he decides to leave the technique for now, as it will take a lot of time to get the other half of the technique, so he focuses on how to escape this place. On the next day, all the trainees were gathered in the training field. A rumor has spread among the trainee that today they will be released from this place. By hearing this, Yan thinks that what a ridiculous dream it is. He then hides himself as Roman was searching for him. In the meantime, the instructor comes and shouts at them to shut up their mouth from hearing. The voice of the instructor, all the trainee holds their ears in pain, and some of them starts to bleed and also falls unconscious. This all happens because the instructor used a voice technique called the aura, voice, echo. This is a technique where one uses mana while speaking. Yan also gets a bit nervous to see the person as he is, the commander of all the instructors in the special task force named Damain. After that, some instructors come and take up all the unconscious trainees and told all of the other trainees to be quiet and line up immediately and carefully hear the words of the commander. Yan starts to get very nervous as the commander is a person that treats the low-ranked trainees as his toys and plays with them, and if he by chance gets caught in his eyes, his escaping planning will all be gone and he will be killed. The commander then speaks up and said to all of the trainees that they all are trash, and if he could, he would kill all of them. He then puts a smile on this face and said not to be worried, as the emperor, who is a very kind person, has given them one last chance, which is to be selected to participate in a mercenary project. This is a project to select the members to protect the emperor, the dragon of the empire. The selected ones will have the honor of protecting the emperor as a dragon warrior, but the reality is different. They'd brainwash the trainee soldier by inserting a bug into their brains. The true objective of this project is to create puppets for the emperor to control. This is also to create people who can't even kill themselves without the order from the emperor. The commander then told all the trainees to clap at this generous offer of the emperor. All the trainees starts to clap. Yan was clapping, but he was thinking of how to lay a low profile so that he didn't get into the eyes of the commander. In the meantime, Roman spoke up and asked, "The commander is being a dragon warrior that great? And if he gets selected into such a great project, will he be able to get the chance to beat the shitty face of his and all the other instructors?" As soon as Roman finished his words, the commander launched an attack called the figure flick art and pierced the right side of his chest. He then asked Roman if he is all right, as he thought of him as a one as he spouted such nonsense confidently. But after seeing Roman fallen on the ground, the commander said that he is just an insect. As Roman was laying, everyone thought that he is dead, but Yan knows that he will be saved if his bleeding is stopped, but does not want to do so, as doing this will cause him great problem. After a while, Roman gets up by holding the hole in his chest. As he gets up, he again questioned the commander. He told the commander that what the hell did he said if they are insects, so what the hell are they who gathered all this insects? He also said that in order to survive, he did all sorts of dirty work and endured all sorts of humiliations. Is the emperor and the dragon warrior are the only important things. He then said that if they ought to protect their oh-so-important emperor, they should do it themselves. By hearing this, the commander said to Roman that he is a very tenacious insect, just like a cockroach. He then said that a cockroach can even survive if their head is chopped off, so he wants to see if Roman is the same. After saying this, he attacks Roman, but as the attack was about to land on him, a crystal mole appears between. Crystal moles are a breed of wild rat that's found in the deep undergrounds of a mountain range. It's very notorious despite its cute appearance. It's notoriously known for the fact that when its crystal comes into the slightest contact with something else, it will start to shine and explode. Everyone along with the commander was shocked to see the crystal mole, but because of it, Roman survived. The crystal mole was Jan's. He found it in the toilet and brought it with him, in case if he needed it somewhere. But he never could have imagined that he have to use it so soon. Jan was also at a very serious situation. He was thinking of the commander, has he noticed him or not? And if he get caught, all of it will be over. The commander then said that Roman is really as tenacious as a cockroach, and he likes him. He then dismissed the meeting and leaves. By seeing this, Jan takes a breath of relief and thinks that he is safe. He also feels sorry for Roman, as he know the reason why he gets so desperate. On the other hand, we can see the commander is smiling because he has found for himself new interesting toys. Afterwards, we can see at the Area 3 in the abandoned toilet, Jan is digging the small hole. He has been working for 3 days and has made quite a progress. In this 3 days, he had only done digging and support the place with wooden boards. He also used mana in his eyes so that he can able to see even in this dark tunnel. He digged the whole tunnel with a knife. He is able to do the work peacefully, as no one passes through this place because it is in an abandoned building that doesn't even show up in the map. While he is progressing at a faster rate, his knife hits a hard think as he used force and pierce his knife. An unexpected situation happens. On the other hand, the guards are roll-calling everyone, and again, when Jan's roll was called, he was not present there. But after a while, B comes with covering his head with the hoodie. As he arrives in front of the guard, he shows his face, which is covered in shit. The guard asked him, that is this disgusting smell coming from him. Jan tells the guard that while he was carrying the barrels, one barrel breaks off, and that barrel contains waste which has fallen on him. By hearing this, the guard told him to go away and wash himself and his clothes. Jan does according the instructor's orders. He was also happy that no one suspected him. The real incident is that the thing that he pierced in the tunnel was a drain pipe, and he pierced it all the shit brushed into him. But all that aside, his plan is going smoothly. He was gathered some daggers, ropes, and other equipments that is needed for his escape. His body condition is also good to a certain extent. This is the result of his die-harding train. While he was washing his clothes, he hears the taking of 2 instructors and found an important info that makes him happy. The info is that the instructor commander is going away for some work. After hearing this, he thinks that it is a very good change for him to escape. He then starts to walk towards the abandoned toilet in the Area 3. As he is going to enter the building, he hears some footsteps, which is coming towards him. He gets every tensed. He was thinking of 2 persons. One is Lorina, and the other is the instructor commander. But as the person comes in front of him, he gets a huge shock because the person is none other than Roman. He then asked Roman what he is doing here, and if he had been following him. He also tells Roman to go away, and he has no time to deal with him. Roman replied that why the hell he is thinking of his as a stalker, and he also said that he has some work to do in here. Jan then asked him why he is walking around with such an injury in his body. Roman said that this little injury is nothing for him. As he finished this, the blood from his chest comes out like fountain. As Jan addresses this, Roman said that it is nothing but a pimple. By hearing this, Jan starts to walk and said that it is good that it is a pimple, and also tells him to go away as he has lots of things to do. As Jan was going, Roman laughs and asked him if he is busy because he is digging a dog's hole. This words makes Jan very confused and at the same time very tensed. Roman also threatens him that what will happen to him if the instructors have found about this. By hearing this, Jan gets so angry he takes out his dagger and uses his dark hunt skill and slashes the neck of Roman in a second and kills him. Hey, why aren't you saying anything? Roman said. By hearing this, Yan get out of his thought in which he is killing Roman. Roman says if he is so scared that he cannot utter a single word. He also tells Yan that Yan should now start begging him and he might show him some kindness and keep his secret. From the inspectors, Yan then speaks up and said he wouldn't do that and tells Roman that he would say anything to the inspectors. Roman then asked why he thinks that he won't tell the inspectors. Yan replied that the reason he won't tell the inspectors is because he loathes the special inspectors more than he does. And the reason he knows it is because of the rebellion he does against the instructor commander, even though he would have died there, and the strong determination for escaping this place. Yan also said that he is the one who is more willing to escape this place than him, and as the only escape route is the tunnel, will he really tells this to the instructors. By hearing this, Roman says to Yan that he is extraordinary, and the first time he fight with him, he understands that he could have killed him if he wanted, and after that he could figure him out among the others trainees, as he has a certain unique scent. After that, Yan asked Roman how did he find that he is digging a tunnel. Roman replied that he figures it out by his footprints. Yan gets confused and asked to explain it. The training center is mostly made of granite, but I discovered weird footsteps that contained lime powder, and the width and size of the stride were the same as yours, Roman Siad. By hearing this, Yan gets surprised to see that Roman gets to secret only by this small amount of clues. He then says to Roman that he is sharper than he looks. Roman gets confused and couldn't decide if it is compliment or not. As Yan was leaving, Roman tells Yan to tell him about his escape plan and where the tunnel leads to, and what is the probability of escaping. By hearing this, Yan asked Roman if he is asking this because he want to escape together with him. Roman replied that he can't answer that now, since he need time to think about it too. Yan advises Roman to stay here in this place, as he is skilled. He should be able to climb to a better place in about 10 years. Yan also asked Roman that what will happen to those he is trying to protect, and now they are in a situation that they cannot even guarantee their survival, and the persons he is protecting now will still be around him in 10 years' time. Yan then says to Roman that he has to decide now, as they have no time, and if he joins him, they will not be here the day after tomorrow. Roman then asked Yan if he had a plan after he escaped this place. Yan replied he has one. Roman then asked Yan to tell him the plan. Yan says the difference between their ranks is 962 places. If they escape, the instructors will definitely go after Roman first. Roman says to Yan, just like you said, the both of us won't be here the day after tomorrow because he will be in his grave. Yan then praises Roman for being able to think so far in a short amount of time. Yan also says Roman to not complain so much as he is also taking a huge risk. He then asked Roman what he will do. Roman thinks a bit and says he will take the bait. The instructor commander tells all the trainee who have gathered at night that he gathered all of them as he has an announcement to make. The instructor tells everybody to see this night meeting as a positive thing, as he has some good news to share. Meanwhile, Yan thinks today this announcement is about the test details. The instructor then enlightened them by saying the new test date had been confirmed, and it will held in a specific location, and if anyone manages to survive one entire week, he would pass the test, and the location for the test will be the Blade Mountain Rangers. For Yan, it was as he predicted. In the past, there was an adventurer named Nilfra, who knew that a medicinal herb that could cure his mother's sickness grew in the Blade Mountain Ranges, so he went there and he promises his mother he would find the herb and cure her. After that, a tragedy occurred. Nilfra's mother was fortunate, as she never knew what happened to her son until her last breath. Mountain ranges contained numerous monsters and were known to be a prohibited area, even within the empire. It starts with gobbling appearing, and the deeper you go, the more dangerous the monsters will be. from large demi-human that were rarely spotted, to humongous monsters that only appeared in stories. Such monsters would appear in the Blade Mountain ranges. Besides that, there were also monsters that the world still didn't know about. The world is still in the midst of discovering those monsters, and the monster that lives in the deepest part of the mountains, you will also encounter that being. The instructor finishes the story by saying he would be happy to see how many of the insects would die there next week for the test. In the meantime, a man comes to the eye interview with a report about a contract, and he need to go there, which made the instructor quite upset. The instructor dismissed the trainee and goes with the man. Jan didn't expect the instructor to finish the meeting so abruptly, while Jan realizes that this test would be hard for low-ranking trainee, and the high-ranking trainee will be protected by the instructors. For the moment, an announcement occurs saying to step aside as the Miss Lorina is making a presence. While passed through, Miss Lorina glares at Jan, saying she would wait in anticipation for Jan. Jan thinks the situation will get more complicated than he expected, and make a pause in his decision, as he will get out of here soon. Jan asked Roman did he give a report on the test situation to the Emperor before the first test starts. While he hates seeing any of the people in the palace, he can't go against the imperial order. With this, the main obstacle for Jan's escape is gone, and tonight he and Roman will escape. At night, when the instructor is roll-calling everyone, he comes in front of Jan's cell and call out his roll as Jan is responding. The instructor tells Jan to not delay and respond quickly. 2 hands from the instructor's back appears and crack his neck. Jan, Roman, and 2 others has come and kills the instructor as their first task of getting out of this place. After finishing the instructor, Jan tells the others to hide the body properly so that no one can find it. The other 2 trainees that joined Jan and Roman in their escaping mission are Jake and Todd. Jake and Todd hide the body quickly as according to Jan's orders. Roman then says to Jan that he bought this too as per his orders. Jan asked Roman if the 2 of them are competent or not. Of course they are. Roman replied. Roman then asked Jan if he has plans to use these 2 trainees as a bait. There's no way I'd ask you to bring 2 people if that was my intention, Jan said. As they were walking, the Jake and Todd hears this conversation and tells Jan that they will not be death weight and they have come here prepared to lose their lives. Jan understands it and tells everyone to stay quiet as it will. A lot of trouble if they get caught by someone who has a very high listening power. After walking for a while, they comes in front of a huge red gate. Jan says that he needed 2 more people for opening this gate as it cannot be opened by a single person. Jan then says in order to go from our dorms to the abandoned area's toilet. We need to open these doors, but to open these doors, 2 pressure plates need to be stepped on, and the switch outside that controls the door must be pulled firstly. 2 of us will step on the pressure plates. After the other 2 go across, they will pull the switch and fix it in place. Then, the 2 from the switches will cross over, after hearing the words of Jan. Everyone understands how to open this gate and escape from this. Jan replied that they should stay here until he gives a signal after that. Jan and Todd goes through the red gate. It's been a while they have gone, and a single signal was given by Jan as time was passing by. Roman gets tensed, and after few minutes the red gate also shuts by. Seeing this, Roman gets totally confused and moves towards the gate, and by hiding the gate he shouts Jan's name. As there is no response, he thinks that Jan has left him behind. He also shouts at himself for not understanding that Jan would betray him. While he was cursing Jan, he heard a voice which says, "Have you gone senile?" By hearing this, Roman asked if it is Jan. The red gate then starts to open, and Jan says to Roman, "That didn't. He told him to wait, and he cannot even do that." Jan was covered with blood, and by seeing blood on Jan's face, Roman asked him, "What has happened? And if Todd is okay?" Jan replied that both of them are okay, and an unexpected situation has arisen, which made him so late to open the gate. Roman asked Yan about the unexpected situation. As they passes the tunnel and gets to the other side to the room, Roman gets shocked, and Yan tells him that he tried feeding sleeping pills, but it didn't work, so he had to fought and kill it, so it took him some time. It was Great Wolf that, by seeing this, Roman asked Yan if he alone killed the Great Wolf. Yan says yes and tells them that they need to move quickly and get out of here. After that, the escape went as planned. Using the passageway that Yan dug in the abandoned toilet, they could see the area outside of the training center. They safely gets out of the tunnel and steps to the ground. Yan then moves towards the cliff and tries to sense for the presence of other, but he couldn't find any presence of other people in the area. He thinks they, the instructors, had probably just found out about their escape, and the pursuit squad should already be on the move. Roman then goes to Yan and tells that if he knew escaping was this easy, he couldn't waste his time in the special training center. Yan then looks at the moon and says that they have taken way too long. Roman then asks to Yan if they are done once. They gets out of this place. Yan tells them to not let their guard down. As this is just the start, Yan then takes out the pendant and opens it, and by seeing the picture, he thinks that this is the start of the journey to get everything back. Yan then tells everyone to stop and listen to him carefully, as they have no time to waste. Yan says that they are in the middle of the Atrian Forest, and the Atrian Forest is made of sequoia trees. It's located near the front of the Empire's northern mountain ranges. As they are in the center of the forest, they need to run 2 days to get out of the forest. Roman then stops Yan and says, "Wouldn't it be good to hide in the forest? As the sequoia trees are tall, they can hide among them." Yan agrees that there are lots of places to hide in the forest, but there are also dangerous monsters roaming around those places, and the tracking hounds of the instructors will find them in no time. Even they are well hidden, and there will be around 20 members in the pursuit team, and if they get caught, their game will be over. So in order to increase their chance of escaping, they need to disperse and split up the pursuit team. In order to do that, they have to go different ways, and the pursuit team will have no choice but to split up. Yan then says that they just need to shake off 5 members of the pursuit squad each. Roman then gets angry and says that he will be the bait, as he is a high-ranked trainee. The probability of all the pursuit team members chasing after him is high. Yan then says to Roman that now he is complaining, and tells him why did he train so hard and get to the higher level. Yan then says, the 4 of them runs together. The pursuit squad will catch all of them, so they have to run separately so that at least one of them can escape safely. Yan then asked if anyone have any questions, and if they has none, he tells to run them in separate directions. As everybody is about to run, Jake thanks Yan for letting him escape this hellish place. He removes his hoodie and tells Yan that he will definitely repay him when he meets him in the future. At first, Yan thought of Jake as a normal trainee, but after seeing him, he gets that he is not, as he also has a story for getting out of this place. That sounds stupid. I don't even want to meet you guys again, Roman said. By hearing this, Yan looks at Roman and said that all this time he acted like a dependable captain, and now he is acting so cold-heartedly. Roman replied, "That's not what he means." He then says, the only time the 4 of them will meet is when they all get caught, and he doesn't want this, as he wishes all of them to escape safely. Yan understands Roman's thought and says that it is right and wishes the others not to meet again. Yan then tells After that, the 4 of them runs at full speed at 4 different directions. As Yan starts to run, and after passing some distance, he uses his divine dragon's breathing mobility, arts wind flap, and gets on the top of a huge tree. As he gets on the tip of the tree, he gets tired and blames for having such a fragile body. He also finds it hard to maintain the divine dragon's breathing, even though the technique itself is efficient. But he also thinks he glad that he is able to make up for this lacking body that doesn't even have mana flowing within it with body-strengthening techniques. Jan remembers his past self and thinks he is pathetic. He was the commander of the 5th Special Force, a man who is known for being the best at tracking, assassination, and spying. Jan also gets curious about the level of the Pursuit Squad and wants to test them and compare which ears Pursuit Squad is the best. After that, we can see 2 instructors were talking about Pursuit Team, and one of them tells that they have to get a new before the crazy-ass commander returns. As he was saying it, the commander has arrived and places a hand on his shoulder and says that would be impossible as he has already returned. By seeing the commander, the instructor gets scared. The commander then says him to relax as this happens. The instructor starts to beg the commander for misspoking about him. The commander's underling stops, and the other instructor and the commander starts to walk with the instructor and tells him that people even curse at the emperor when he is not around. The commander then asked if he is one of the instructors who is in charge of the trainee dormitories. The instructor replies he is and tells the commander to relax, as the Pursuit Team will surely capture them. By hearing this, the commander asked him how will the Pursuit Team will do that. The instructor didn't get him and asked his pardon. The commander then gets angry and pushes the shoulder of the instructor, and the instructor's feet gets crushed and he falls on the ground. You didn't even know that they were planning an escape, nor did you know that they dug an escape route. You didn't know that they had stolen items needed for their escape, the commander said. The instructor begs the commander to spare his life and to give him a second chance. The commander then steps on the instructor's head and tells that he doesn't have anything like that for him, and he also knows who is behind him. By saying this, he crushes the head of the instruct. In the morning, on the Atrian Forest, the Pursuit Squad Team 3 is following the tracks of an escaped trainee and is rushing towards him. The leader of the team tells the other two to stop. The other 2 then ask the leader if there is something wrong and if the tracks of the trainee disappeared. The leader's name is Kelly. Kelly removes the mask and replied that the tracking is going too smoothly, that it feels so unnatural. The other 2 members of the Team 3 are Jair and Anderi. Jair said that the tracking should be going smoothly as the trainee. Their tracking is number 974. Anderi tells the leader to stop suspecting on everything as they tracked the footprints from the cliff, and also discovered tracks here. The leader then doubts himself for overthinking, but he cannot get out from the uneasy feeling he is having. At that time, it starts to fog, so the leader tells the 2 of them to quickly go and catch the trainee before he hide in the fog. While they are walking, Jair said that their job is easy as they have to capture the number 974. He also feels bad for the team that goes to catch the number 12, as they will be having a hard time. Anderi said that, what's so hard on catching a trainee? Jair then asked Anderi for his number when he was a trainee. As he says this, Jan come from his behind and takes him up to the tree and killed him. After that, as Anderi is about to tells his number, Jan appears from behind a tree with a dagger on his hand and stabs it on Anderi and kills. Now, only one pursuit member is remaining. That is Kelly. After a while, Kelly looks back and he was shocked as he didn't see any of his team members. He gets confused as the 2 of them disappeared without a sound in a short amount of time. He then thinks if the uneasy feeling he is having has something to do with this. But he cannot understand it as it is impossible for even a number 12 trainee to take on an instructor. And how come a number 974 do it? While he was thinking it, Jan's hands approaches him from above. He notices it and used his sneak attack spiral slash and cuts down the tree in front of him and shout that this type A attacks will not work on him. In that moment, a wire comes and wrap around his neck and pulls him. Kelly was totally caught. He then thinks that the footprints and the pieces of clothes were not tracks as they were baits laid out of catch them. Kelly, then asked Yan how a number 974 can kill 3 instructors. Yan didn't answer anything and finishes him quickly. Yan then takes the knife of Kelly and sits on a tree branch and thinks that killing the pursuit team was easier than he thinks, and he should be able to fight without a problem if he used body-strengthening technique. Yan then thinks he need to get out of this forest before the fog swallows it whole. He spread the blood of the pursuit squad all over the area, so the hunting hounds will pick up the scent and come here, and it'll be easier for him to escape once he hide my scent. Yan then chews slime plant. Its fruit is poisonous, and the leaves have a strong stench. He crushed the leaves and smear it all over him, as even hounds hate this stench, so this will erase his scent. So they shouldn't be able to find him with this. You need to hurry up. Escaping will get tougher. The longer he dragged this out, even Yan wouldn't be able to get away if they encircled him and set up an inescapable trap. Yan then notices a black smoke coming from the place where Jake and Todd escaped. He thinks that they are idiots, as this will expose their locations. Yan wants to get to them, but he stops himself as he brought them along to use them as bait. It's actually better for Yan with them attracting attention. Like that, Yan then remembers about the time they spent together and rushed towards them, as it's probably more advantageous for them to be alive right now. He just need to get rid of those tracks before the pursuit squad finds them. While Yan was running, he feels goosebumps that ran across the back of my neck. He can feel it, the eyes of death that he felt on numerous battlefields. He also sensed that something is behind him and is watching him. Yan feels a snake wrapping itself around him with a killing intent. At that moment, Yan hears a voice telling that I am glad that you bit the bait. The voice that Yan heard was none other than our instructor commander, who tells Yan that he was right in his judgment. The instructor thought Yan as an interesting fellow and also predicted that Yan will show something interesting and wonders how attracted Yan to this place. The instructor greets Yan as the trainee soldier 974. Then suddenly, lightning strikes. Yan thought, what's the instructor is doing here? This was impossible, as before Yan regressed. He was sure that the instructor returned later than the planned schedule. There were even rumors that the instructor was imprisoned after causing some troubles at the palace, and assumed that the changed because of his own actions. Yan thought, which action of his caused this phenomenon, but he couldn't think of anything that would influence instructor's actions. Yan believed that the tiny cracks that were created by the different actions he took after his regression ruined the original future. The instructor asked Yan that what he will throw this time around, a mole or a lightning rat. Yan realized that the instructor might have noticed that action of his. The instructor was mesmerized that Yan threw it in such a short instant and praises Yan for his awesome reaction time. In addition, the instructor said that firstly he was confused, but as he saw that, he changed his conclusion. The instructor thought that place only contained novice or vermin, but there was something interesting hiding in there. Yan regretted the previous action. If he hadn't interfered, this wouldn't happen now, and he doesn't know how much of the future changed for this action. But this is the worst scenario possible. Yan thought nothing certain, yet the instructor was known as one of the 3 continental swordsmen, but it will happen in the happen not now. The instructor claps while laughing, saying Yan that he is interesting, and the best as he concludes that Yan is thinking of killing him. The instructor then asked Yan what he intends to do now, as normally people would decide to run, and he, his speechless seeing Yan's action, laughing heavily. The instructor offers Yan a special opportunity to try to kill him, and if he succeeds, the reward will be the freedom he desires. The instructor thought in his mind that Yan's countenance changed as he mentioned that, and he have never seen anyone as Yan, a mere low-rank trainee soldier capable of killing a beast and also annihilate the pursuit team whom were after him. His decision-making, skills, boldness, stamina, technique, and eye for details rivals the higher-rank soldier, and his skills are on a different level from the common folks, as his Yan was born with purpose of becoming a part of the Special Forces. If Yan keeps growing like this, no one can fathom what kind of monster would await us at the end. As the instructor says, Yan to show him his skills. Yan kneels down asking for help, and the instructor gets shocked by his actions. Yan starts making a story by saying that he can't see the person standing in front of him is the instructor or not, as he have poor eyesight. Yan also says that he has no intentions of escaping, and he was dragged with them because if he refused to follow them, they would kill him. However, they abandoned Yan and suddenly went off by themselves, and Yan thought he was a dead meat, but he met the instructor. The instructor investigated Yan that according to him, he was forcefully dragged here. Yan replied, "Yes, that's correct. And trainee number 12 planned it all, and that trainee soldier number 12 always insulted the instructor." The commander thinks in his mind that he would never fall for Yan's cheap tricks. In the meantime, Yan acts like crying in front of the instructor. Yan then immediately throws a kunai to distract the instructor. The instructor thought it as a disappointment as Yan tried to make his guard down so that Yan can attack, but he suddenly gets shocked as Yan instinctually throws another kunai at the same angle, which passes through the instructor's right eye, making 2 small cuts, which caused some bleeding. The instructor thinks that Yan run away but was mistaken and shocked. Yan suddenly appears above the instructor, charging him straight away with a dragger in his hands. Yan uses Dark Shadow 15th form, Shadow Erase, but his attack was deflected. The instructor's body was covered in black fog. The instructor then attacks with the black fog, and it chases Yan. Yan thinks at this he won't be able to shake him, and uses Dark Shadow's Secret Art Shadow Drop. As a result, his dragger gets broken. The instructor says to Yan that he have to take his words back when he said that he would let Yan go if he defeats him, as he couldn't let go an interesting toy like Yan and he could play with him for an eternity without get bored, as he truly is the best. Yan then saw the pattern in the right shoulder of the instructor and the incident that happened 22 hours ago before he escaped. He was in the Special Forces low-ranked trainee soldiers' accommodation named Cavern. The roll calls were done and the lights were said to be turned off. Yan finished his preparations for escape and thought that after today he would never see this place. He wanted to get out quickly from this place and met his family whom he doesn't know anything about. The only clue he have was an old pendant. Yan promises himself that he would make sure to find them and enjoy a peaceful life. Suddenly, the upper part of the pendant's glass started to break and he discovered that same pattern. Yan thought, is this his family's insignia? The pattern was carved into the lid of the pendant, hidden behind the glass. Yan questioned himself, why is this pattern hidden in this pendant? And if this pattern is really his family's insignia, then is neither a common nor a slave. It was great for Yan, as he found a new piece of information, and if he finds a person who knows about this, he would be able to find his family. But Yan was troubled to see the same pattern on the instructor's body. By seeing Yan lost in, thought the commander asked if he is done as he is doing nothing, and it was getting fun for him. Yan didn't respond to the commander, as he was in his own thought as he found the insignia in such an unexpected place. By seeing the insignia on the commander's neck, Yan thinks that the commander might be related to his family, but it is impossible for the commander to be from his family, as Yan knew the commander, the identity from his past life. While Yan was in his thought, the commander approaches near him and gets anger and tries to kill Yan as he is doing nothing and ruining his fun. From the intense killing intent of the commander, Yan comes to his senses and quickly kicks the commander. Yan guessed that he landed a clear blow, but his guess was wrong when he sees the commander stops the attack with his hand and the kick didn't do a single damage. The commander praises Yan from this powerful kick and asked Yan from where did he learn this types of attacks. The commander then launches his Dark Shadow sword blade suppression technique. As the commander launches this attack, sharp projectiles that are dark in color comes out of the ground and attacks Yan. Yan does back, flips to avoid the spikes, but some of the spikes pierce him. As Yan back flips, he sensed that the black spikes has faint killing intent, and from this he figures out that the commander is toying with him. He then thinks that it is good for him, as he will be able to escape when the commander lowers down his guard, but there is a problem. If he escapes from here, he won't be able to find out anything about the insignia. And from this reason, Yan change his plan of escaping as he wants to find about his family and if the commander is involved with his family. A huge rebellion is about to take place across the continent in the near future. This rebellion, that's known as the Revolt of Armenia, will bring down 10 kingdoms. Numerous nobles will be slaughtered. The effects of this rebellion were so substantial that it even threatened the survival of the imperial family. Even such a huge rebellion was quelled in the face of the emperor's sword. After the emperor executed all the people who instigated the rebellion and their families, he burned them all. It was said that the fire burned for 20 days, and thus, this incident was named the 20 Days of Twilight. The main culprit behind this rebellion was the previous emperor's bastard child. There were several rumors about why he instigated the rebellion, but no one knows the truth because all relevant records were erased. All those who remembered him referred to him as the Continental Swordsman. The commander instructor of the Special Forces Training Center. Yan then thinks if his family is directly related with the commander and the Revolt of Armenia, his family who's involved in the rebellion could cease to exist. So Yan thinks he must stop that from happening. No matter what, Yan then gives up on escaping and plans to remain in the Special Forces and gain the commander's trust. Yan then starts to think of something to make the commander trust him. Yan starts to butter the commander and praises him for his skills, and that he came personally to catch him. He then tells the commander that the captain of the Special Forces will get very happy to see that the instructor commander is working very hard by hearing this. The commander gets angry and quickly rushes towards Yan and grabs his face and throws him at a tree. The commander throws Yan so hard that Yan pierced through many trees. The commander then goes to Yan and grabs his collar and raises him up and said that he thinks of Yan as a nice and intelligent one, but now he sees that Yan is arrogant and also runs his mouth arrogantly. "You don't treasure your life, don't you?" the commander said. Yan replies that an arrogant mouth all speaks a few useful words sometimes. He then tells the commander that he knows a weakness of the captain of the Special Forces that can be used to get rid of him. By hearing this, the commander gets mad and grabs the collar tightly and asked Yan that how did he get to know such an information. Yan didn't reply to his question and said that the weakness of the captain of the Special Forces can be found in Simon's Country Unit number 52. After that 1 hour. Later, the commander has reached at the Special Forces Training Center. He has changed his outfit and is walking at the hallway with his subordinate. This subordinate asked him that what he should do to the 3 people that he mentioned before. The commander replies that he should throw the 3 into the cavern again, as he did not want to think about those insects, as the commander was talking to his subordinate as voice for a head comes, which says, "You are acting all busy, and so here you are. You look like you have all the time in the world, or are you just lazy? Tell me, which is it?" Commander Instructor Damien. The commander didn't reply anything and said, "What brings you here without any notice?" Special Forces. Captain Rodrigo Mayer. The captain then moves closer to the commander and asked him about the situations of the training center. The commander said that it's running perfectly, as usual. The captain then asked, if is it Toure, as he has heard something completely different. Aren't there rumors that the standards of the trainee soldiers are better than the actual squad members? The commander said. After listening to this, the commander said that he is hearing such nonsense for the first time. The captain then said he came to take a look because the quality of the squad members that came from the training center was horrid. How are the squad members at fault? The in-charge who's unable to handle the squad members is to be blamed instead, the commander said. As the two were talking, the mana from them starts quivering in the air. The mana is so intense that a weak would probably faint right away. The captain tells the commander instructor that he heard he didn't attend the imperial family's morning meeting. The commander replied that he had more important business to attend, rather than this trivial matters. The captain investigate what trivial matters. Is there anything more important for a citizen of the empire than showing respect to the emperor? The captain intervenes. The captain concludes that the reason the commander acts like this is because that blood flows into him. The captain says to the instructor that the reason he couldn't attend the meeting is because there were escaped soldiers. The captain asked the instructor that is he not even capable of handling trainee soldiers and tells him that he would take care of it for him. The instructor replied abruptly that the captain has mistaken because there were no escaped soldier and that he have heard the wrong information as his ears have grown old and dull. The trainee soldiers simply went out with the instructors to prepare for a test. The commander instructor tells the captain that he have seen a lot of insects recently and asked him he has any idea of if or not. The captain replied that he couldn't comprehend what the instructor is thinking. The instructor then illustrates that he is trampling all the insects he saw in his training center until they meet their demise, but there are so many of them that it's getting troublesome. The instructor has found the den of the insects and says that he would exterminate all of them in one go. Lastly, the instructor takes his leave, saying the captain to have a nice journey. The instructor says to his subordinate that all the indigestion he was experiencing has dissipated after seeing the Special Forces captain taken aback and asked him that the information he gave him, it is true or not. The subordinate replies that the instructor will know once he looks into it while removing his mask. The face was revealed, saying that the instructor will know the fact that his information are correct, and the face none other than our MC Jan's. Simons County, Street 52, is a neglected street, and Jan has lived on that street before. It's a place where almost on one is at sight. It is a street that isn't good for children to live on. But in that place lived the Special Forces captain's daughter. Jan tells this to the instructor commander. By hearing this, the commander asked if he has played with the captain's daughter. Jan replied, yes, and says that as there were not many children, so they all knew each other. By seeing the commander expressions, Jan gets that he is not believing him. All the things that Jan has said is a lie, so how in the world the instructor commander will believe in such a half-assed lie? But Jan has no other choice. He had to make the commander believe in his lies. In a situation where the Special Forces captain and the commander instructor are at loggerheads, although the commander has been searching high and low in the country for the captain's weakness, but he wasn't able to find out the exact location, and the evidence of that would be him reacting to the location that Jan spoke of. Jan thinks that he must make use of this information. The commander says that he finds it a bit strange that even though Jan knows the location of the captain's daughter, but how he is sure that she is the captain's weaknesses. Jan replies that he heard it in person in the past when he was talking to the captain's daughter. She told him that she will be leaving this place soon, and after. Jan asked her for the reason. She replied that there are bad people who are after her dad, and those bad people are looking for her so they can threaten her dad. So, her dad said to her that she have to leave this place, and after a few days later she disappeared as some people in black clothes brought her away. Jan then says that he only knew after he came here that those people were members of the Special Forces, and she is the daughter of the Special Forces captain. The commander hears to Jan's story very carefully, and after that he says that how come all the things have come together like puzzle pieces. Jan says that it might be that the goddess of luck is helping him. By hearing this, the commander throws a pen at Jan. Jan dodges the pen so it did pierce him and hits the wall behind him. The pen makes a small cut on Jan's face. After that, the commander says that, after heeding all the things, he thinks that Jan is the spy of the captain. Jan says to the commander that he understands why he thinks that. He also says that it is not a coincidence that all the pieces of the puzzle has come together. He is the one who personally picked the puzzle pieces and connected them so he could survive. Jan then says that if he really were a spy. As the commander mentioned, there's no need for him to risk his life and try to escape, and this information is for him to use in case his escape attempt failed. So he kept it for this moment. The commander hears him and nods his head. To make the commander believe him more, Jan tells him that he also knows that where the captain's daughter is taken to. The commander then stands up and faces towards the window and says that if really the goddess luck is on his side. By hearing this, Jan gets happy as his plan to the make. The commander believe him has worked. The commander then says Jan to go back. With this, Jan has overcome a crisis, even though the commander probably doesn't believe everything. Jan said, but this is enough for now. As time goes, Jan will get closer to him, slowly. Jan then says, the commander farewell and takes his leave. As Jan leaves, the commander thinks that how a guy like him is number 974, and he thinks that the instructors have no eye for evaluating people. The commander then takes the form of Jan in his hand and smiles. After that, a week later, at the demonic realm Blade Mountain ranges, the first Special Forces trainee soldier exam starts. The demonic realm Blade Mountain ranges is a restricted area in the Empire. This area is one where all sorts of monsters inhabit and is undoubtedly the most dangerous place. As the first Special Forces trainee soldier exam begins, some trainee soldiers are hunting in the swamp goblin area. The scent trainees killed all the goblins there and make the place flooded with goblins' blood. The trainees starts to think that the demonic realm Blade Mountain ranges is not dangerous at all, and the 7 days they need to spend here to pass the test will be done easily. The leader of the trainee team told them to be quiet and also reminds them about the other condition for passing. The test is to kill monster and collect demonic crystals from them. He also says that even if they survive, their scores are determined by the number of demonic crystals they have gathered, and if they get a lot of demonic crystals, they will be able to climb not just higher status, but maybe even higher than the 4 great families. While they were talking about this, a huge hand comes from the top and grabs the head to a trainee and just simply twist it. As this is how the trainee number 320 died in the hands of a gold ogre. Gold ogre is a mutated ogre species. It conceals its presence with mana before approaching its prey. By seeing the use monster, all the trainees get scared and takes attacking position. The gold ogre then rises, the number 320 trainee, and starts to shake him. The ogre then swing its hand, and instantly killed 2 trainees, the instructor. Commander watches all of this with a green crystal. After watching all of this, he tells all the other trainees that the first 30 trainee that were sent to the demonic realm mountain ranges are all death, and to proceed quickly, they will send 50 trainees to the demonic realm mountain ranges after every 5 minutes. Jan thinks that he has to eventually go inside the demonic realm. Jan looks at the instructor and sees him happy. Jan then thinks that if he needs to get closer to the commander, he will need scores that are extremely outstanding, and to achieve that, he would first need to do something about this body, because there's a limit to how much he can grow with a half-assed divine dragon's breathing technique. Jan then smiles a bit, because it will be beneficial for him to go inside the demonic realm. There are still 2 treasures in the demonic realm that still no one knows about, and if he gets them, he will be able to grow faster. After that, an instructor comes and tells something to the commander. Jan gets a bit confused, as this scene never happens before. After that, the commander and the rest of the instructors kneels down by saying the trainees to pay their respects to the ruler of the Kavalan Empire, the legitimate successor of their great emperor. As they says this, the crown prince, Leon Cavalan, arrives there. By seeing him, Jan gets totally shocked because based on his past memories, the only notable event that occurs during this time is the death of 500 trainees, but the scene that is happening now is a special event. The crown prince greets all the trainees and introduces himself. All the trainees then fell on their knees and greets the crown prince. But Jan gets very angry, and this blood starts to boil out of anger. The crown prince then tells all of them to be at ease. He also says to all the trainees to raise their hands if any one of them want to get out of this hellish place. The crown prince also says that he swear upon his name that he will guarantee their safety. As Jan hears this, he gets super shocked, as this not the prince that he used to know. After that, we can see a little flashback of Jan's past life at Capital Avalon at the Emperor's residence. Jan has come the Emperor Leon and says that the team they have sent has successfully burned the demonic crystals mine, and now they are trapped and they should send reinforcements to safely bring them Emperor. Leon says Jan to leave them as they are so that they can sacrifice themselves and take down some enemies. Jan says that they should not just abounded their soldiers that has fought for the empire. The emperor then says that the world is like chess. All the pieces only exists for the sake of the emperor, the one and only king. The Emperor Leon also says that it will be a great honor for them to sacrifice their life for him. This type of person is Leon, who is merciless and cruel. Back to the present, Leon the Crown Prince tells all the noble family's children who has entered in this special training to earn strength to go back, unless they wants to go UP against him when he ascend the throne. By hearing this, all the trainees get shocked. Jan also cannot understand if the Emperor Leon and this Crown Prince Leon are the same persons. The commander then goes towards the prince and tells him that by hearing his speech, all the trainees are in huge shock. The prince then says that, "What's the reason for conducting such an unethical project like this?" The commander replies that the special forces exist for the sake of protecting the empire and the emperor. By hearing this, the prince shouts at commander that not to say something this ridiculous in front of him. The prince also says that the emperor exists for the people and orders the commander to stop this evil practices. The commander replies that this is something His Majesty has approved, and everything here is done legitimately within the bounds of the laws. The prince shouts legitimate and says that if there is anyone among the trainees that has volunteered for the test, he will stand down on one among the trainee has volunteered. But after a while, Jan stands up and greets the prince and introduces himself and says that he would like to participate in the test. The prince looked shocked and asked Jan that as he is a low-ranked trainee, isn't he as mistreated here? And so why he is willing to participate in the test. Jan agrees with the prince that he is mistreated here, but there's something here that's given fairly regardless of their rank. And that is the qualification for them to risk our lives in order to climb higher. And that's why he wants to participate in this test to achieve something great. By hearing this, the prince gets a bit disappointed and leaves by telling the commander to continue the test and he watching. As the prince leaves, the test begins. Trainees are sent to demonic realm via a rap gate. Eventually, the turn of Jan has also come. He then stands on the rap, and green light starts to appear for the grounds marking. All this time, Jan thinks that in his previous life, Leon didn't come to the training center, and he is also completely different from the Leon he knew. Jan then asked himself if all of this is happening because of his influence, and what has really happened to Leon. While thinking all of that, Jan has been teleported to the demonic realm. As he gets teleported, he sees that there is no one else around him. So he walks to scout the area and tries to find a weapon. As he walks, he smells a familiar smell of sulfur and demonic energy From the smell, he gets it that he is in the Blade Mountain Ranges, Valley of Wind. As he was standing still, he sensed that a monster is approaching him from behind. On the other side, where the rest of the trainees are, a cockatoo griffin has launched its attack to the trainees. The trainees gets panicked by see the monster rushing towards them. But at that time, rank 1 trainee Lorina Beowulf comes, and by using the Dark Soul 15 form technique, Stardust, she kills the monster. The trainees that began to thank her for saving their lives. Lorina then asked that if their team is made up of low-ranked trainees. They replied yes, and says that their team is mainly made up of 700 ranked trainees. They also says that as many of their members are injured, so they are facing hardship to get out of the valley, so they request Lorina that if they can travel with her team until they get out of the valley. Lorina replied that they can follow them as much as they like, as it doesn't matter to her. By saying this, Lorina starts to think to Jan as she has not seen him. The bold attitude of Jan in front of the prince has left quite an impression to her. She also cannot get it, that why Jan is so willing to participate in this hellish test. While she was thinking all of this at that time, rank 2 trainee Cruel Dwight comes and says to Lorina that she is doing something stupid again for letting these vermins in 700s to follow them, as they will be a burden for them. Cruel also asked that if she is willing to take care of them as their parents, and if she thinks that this generous compassion of her will help anyone. Lorina gives an angry look and says, Cruel, to watch what he is saying, and also tells him that a rank of someone doesn't tell everything about them. While the two of them are talking at that time, the ranked 3 trainee Kasha Everain comes and says that why they are arguing with each other. She then tells to Cruel that he is really short-sighted. Cruel asked what she is saying. Kasha says that this test is an individual test, so there is no need to complete among each other. Cruel then asked that if she is also willing to travel with this vermins. Kasha replied that with a bigger team, it will be easier to deal with a crisis. She also says that as a noble, shouldn't they lead the commoners? Ha, noble, can you call the bloodline of a traitor? A noble as well, you want to lead the commoners? Let's see, what did the Everain family do while leading the commanders? Be careful, it'd be such a waste if the last Everain went to the gallows, right? Cruel said this to Kasha. Thanks for your concern. I guess I was too focused on trying to restore my family, though Cruel, I'm so envious of you in times like that. Since you have your 2 older brothers taking charge of the Dwight family, you can just live however you want. Kasha replied this to Cruel. By hearing this, Cruel gets mad and tries to kill Kasha, but Lorina steps in and stops Cruel from doing this. After that, Cruel starts to walk away and says that he will only lose out by traveling with useless bastards like them. He then starts to walk away alone, and after a while he found traces of blood on the ground. By seeing the blood droplets, he starts to follow it. He then comes to the place and thinks that it would be a monster den, so he hides himself behind a boulder and picks a bit. But by seeing the scene, he gets shocked as there is a human who has killed a large number of red goblins and is eating the heart of the goblins.